a guy who's been following this story for a long time. Our very own John Gambadoro, co-host of Burns and Gambo, joins us here on the Arizona Sports Line. Gambo! Have you exhaled?
I'm glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over.
We are too. Was this, in what you found out and what you've been following, was this ever close to being a different destination for Kevin Durant other than Houston? Because it just doesn't seem like it to me.
Well, Vinny, I mean, here's you work this thing and you work it and you work it and, your 6 teams are involved. And then, you find out that there aren't as many teams involved. New York never made an offer. San Antonio never made an offer. I mean, believe that or not, the Spurs never made an offer. So I think it did really come down to Houston, Miami, Minnesota, and then Toronto was involved, and then there were 2 wild cards that I found out yesterday and reported that had some interest and spoke with the Suns about Durant. One was the Denver Nuggets, and the other was the Cleveland Cavaliers. But New York and San Antonio never made offers. So I do think the Suns were negotiating for weeks, trying to get the price up, trying to get different players and do the best that they could. And it was hard. I mean, this is trading a 37-year-old Kevin Durant is not like trading a 30-year-old Kevin Durant or even a 34-year-old Kevin Durant. So it ended up being, difficult, and I think they made the best of a bad situation. This was never going to be a great trade. This was never going to be we won the trade. You just had to make the best of it. And I think they did okay. I think they did fine. I don't think they got fleeced in this deal. The interest in Kevin Durant just wasn't great right now.
When you take a look at Jaylen Green, there's so much positional overlap, and there's so many mixed opinions on who he is and how he has not grown as a player. Do you think that, and I know you've reported that they're going to keep him, do you think that they're just trying to build leverage to maybe trade him, or do you think that interest is real?
No, I think they're going to keep him, Bick. I really do. This is based on what I'm hearing. I think, the plan is to keep him and keep Dillon Brooks. Look, we'll talk about Brooks in a second because they've been after Dillon Brooks for a while. They really have, going back to the failed Marshawn Dillon Brooks trade. It goes back. They've been trying to get him. They like him. He's a terrific player. What I'll say about Green is, look, he's a great scorer. He's a great scorer. He's a young kid, and the Suns got 2 starters from a team that was number 2 in the West. They didn't get a power forward or a center, and they need to do that. Green's got a lot of limitations, man. He can't guard anybody. He's not a good defensive player at all. He's not efficient like Book because he doesn't shoot the ball that well. He's very streaky. But he does attack the basket, which the Suns were like last in the NBA at. Vinny, you know this from being at every game. Like, they don't attack the basket. Green does attack the basket. He'll get to the free throw line. So he's different. He's crazy athletic. So, like Book's very efficient, but Green is much more athletic. I think they're going to try it. They're going to try the 2 guys. It's not ideal because neither one of them are great defensive players. But Green is an athletic kid who can score a lot, great on the dribble handoff, great in transition. He's going to get you. He can get you 20, he can get you 30, he can get you 40. So he's a scorer, but he's very streaky. So you're going to have some really good games and some really bad games.
What do you think, Gambo? The arrival and this thinking that, hey, Brooks is part of the team, Green's part of the team. What do you think that means for the futures of Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen here?
I think they look to move, one of them for sure. I think they absolutely look to move one of them. Listen, their priorities right now are to get a power forward, a starting power forward. That's why, I would have loved for them to get Jabari Smith. I would have loved Jabari Smith in this trade. But back in February, you could have had Jabari Smith and Jaylen Green. Now you weren't able to get Jabari Smith, so they turned that into Dillon Brooks, the 10th pick, and 5 second-rounders. So pick which one you like better, because that's really what it came down to. In February you could have had Jabari Smith, but not had a first-round pick and not had any second-round picks and not had Dillon Brooks. But they need a power forward. They don't have, and they need a center. They need another center. Mm-hmm. They'd love for Nick Richards to be the backup center. So their goal is to get a 4. Their goal is to get a 5. They weren't able to really do that in this trade. So now they've got to go out and figure out how to get those guys.
Now, you reported the details on those 5 second-round picks. Which of them do you think are going to have any value for the team?
Later. I mean, look at the 30 and the 32 second-rounders. I mean, I always like taking flyers on picks that are later on. I mean, that's why Danny Ainge took a flyer on the Suns' 2031 first-rounder. I mean, so many years down the road, you just don't know. And those picks hold values for – second-round picks are good. Right? you can take a flyer on a guy if you like, or they're very good for trades. People love them in trades. Like, I'll trade you this guy and I'll throw you 3 second-rounders. So you need to have them to make trades. The 10th pick is a good pick. I think that's the key to the whole, the key to winning or losing this. And I think the team that gets the best player always wins. But Kevin Durant wasn't impacting winning for the Phoenix Suns. It's just he wasn't. He's not as an impactful player as he was. He doesn't impact winning. He's a great player and he's a great scorer, but the ball gets stuck with him, and he doesn't do as much defensively anymore. And I think he'll be terrific in Houston because they got a lot of glue guys, but it didn't work here. So I think that they did fine. I think the Suns made a decent trade. I'm not saying it's a great trade. I'm not saying the Suns won the trade. They made a decent trade. They got the best they could. Yeah. They got Brooks and Green, 2 starters. And Brooks, everybody's going to love Brooks because he can guard 1, 2, or 3. He guards Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He guards LeBron. He guards Anthony Davis. He guards power forwards sometimes. So he's that dog, that alpha guy that they just needed. So I like that. I think the key is the 10th pick. If they could turn that into a really good starter and a future all-star, I think people are going to look differently upon this trade. I really do think the key to this whole trade comes down to what type of player do they get at number 10.
You're exactly right.
I was going to ask you, because you talked about the priority of getting a 4 and a 5 in this offseason. Are the Suns married to the idea of keeping that number 10 pick and using it, or could that be maybe spun off into another deal this summer for somebody who can help right now?
I keep getting asked about am I going to do a Gambo 5 for the Suns draft, and I probably am, and I'll probably do it tomorrow. I think they're going to keep the pick.
Okay.
I think they're going to keep the pick. Now, I don't know if they'll keep 28. Maybe they could take 28 in a second rounder and package them and move up a little bit, or get a few. But I think they're going to keep the 10th pick.
Okay.
And try to get an impact player there. It's not a bad spot. Like some of the other picks they could have got 14, 17. Miami which had a garbage offer. I loved trolling the Heat fans yesterday. Let me tell you something. I had so much enjoyment out of that.
Oh, they overvalue their assets more than any team, God. I think, in professional sports, Gambo.
Man, I had so much fun yesterday just trolling all those Heat fans. I told them their offer was garbage and they weren't getting KD, and they attacked me for 2 weeks. So I had my fun with that yesterday. I think they keep the 10th pick, Vinny. I wouldn't be certain on the 28th pick. I think if they could move the 28th pick, I think they would move it. Maybe they move up. Maybe they move out altogether for a future. But I'm going to say they keep the 10th pick.
All right, Gambo. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, brother.
Insight. We'll be listening today, 2 to 6. I'm sure you and Burns, you'll have a lot more on this trade.
Burnsy took off. He's on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
It's him and Kellen. Yeah.
I found out about this trade Saturday night. I even screenshotted it and put it out yesterday. It's Saturday night at 10 o'clock at night. I took a screenshot. Dillon Brooks, Jaylen Green, the 10th pick. I didn't know about the second rounders at that time. But I did text Burnsy at like 7 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I said, hey, here's the trade. It's going down. This is what it is. He was on vacation. He's out on the beach having a cup of coffee.
Right.
He takes off. The week Kevin Durant gets traded, the guy takes off. Go figure.
Thanks, Gambo.
Thanks, Gambo.
Bye-bye.
John Gambadoro. Kellen Olson filling in for Burnsy today.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.